quest for oil when your love for arms is disgraceful. Did I not tell you so, that it's our lifeboat has no hope, so you can dance on through your lifetime till the drugs you're on wear off.
Wow, what a great song. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is when you're watching this video. I'm Trey Marshall, and I love mixing. Not mixing, but mixing. If you haven't seen the previous videos, week 1 I talked about mix translation, what plugin I use to get my mixes to translate better from the studio into the real world. If you haven't seen that yet, I encourage you to check it out. This week we're going to discuss, where do I start? So you're finished recording or someone sends you some tracks. What do I do with them? How do I start? I know it's already week 3 and I'm just now getting to the initial steps of this process we call mixing. Well, now I have more friends that want to learn how to mix, so I figured I'd make this little video to help them out, and we're going to get through this together. First thing I do is I listen to the song to see if I even want to mix it. If you're mixing something right now that you don't enjoy, it's really not your style of music, you're not feeling it, my suggestion is to fold it up, put it in an envelope, stamp return to sender, and move to another project. Because honestly, you're doing the client a disservice and yourself a disservice. If you're not into the music, you are not the right person to mix the song. So you should be spending your time or earning money doing something you enjoy. That's why we do this. Mixing is very technical, but at the same time, it's very emotional. So if a song doesn't grab you a certain way, it's okay to say no. You know, I might not be the right person to mix this song. Or you might know someone who is in that style of music. You can direct that person to them. But mix something that you are jacked up about, because that's going to help you on the creative end of mixing. You love the vocals, you love the guitar part, you just want to get your hands into the mix. That's the attitude that you want to have when you attack the mix. I am a firm believer in offensive mixing, and you're always on the attack. You're not going to let that mix beat you, but you are going to dominate that mix. So once you've reached that point, you decided, hey, I've listened to it and I want to mix it. You get those tracks into your DAW. The next thing you do is you organize your session in a way that you can understand. So as you see here in mine, I always like to start with the drums. I have my kick, snare, overheads, so forth. And I organize and color code my session in ways I can understand. These are my aux tracks. I'll discuss that in a little bit. But for the main part, my tracks are just pretty plain. They're gray, and my aux and effect sends are different colors. So after you've listened to the song, you've organized it, you've color coded your tracks, you're able to navigate through this session without any problem. Now comes the part a lot of us hate: editing. It's like being a musician. If you're a guitar player, you don't just get up on stage and start playing your guitar, or if you're a drummer, you don't start banging the drums, but you make sure your instrument is tuned before you do the performance. So there's a little work you have to do in order to get a good sound during the performance. Well, it's the same thing with us as a mixer. There's a little work we have to do, but those tiny things will make a big difference. So in my videos so far, I've mainly focused on the mix window. Now we're going to hit the edit window, and that looks like a lot. It may look like chicken scratch to you, but all this is are my same tracks, but now I can see the waveform. And what you want to do when you're looking at this view, this dead space that's right here, I already have that soloed, so let's listen to this real quick. So I like to run through and listen to those in case there's any clicks or pops or someone bumps into a microphone or anything like that. You want to edit those things out just in case. Because even though you may not hear them while all the music's playing, behind the scenes it's stealing headroom from your mix. So anything that's going to clutter your mix, make it muddy, get rid of it. Delete it, done, move on. So I'll do that with all my tracks. But as you can see, for this particular mix, all the tracks are clean. If you're worried about disk space and you use a lot of plugins, you might want to go ahead and clean it up anyway. So now I've edited my tracks. They're all as clean as I can possibly get them. Now we can start mixing. While I'm mixing, I might want to send a certain track to an effect. So I've set up aux tracks, which I route through buses for different effects and things, and I can process those aux tracks any way I want to and still have the source material intact. So let me show you my bus setup. By going to setup, IO, and there's my bus, hit the bus tab, and here are my buses. Now I don't use all of them obviously, but I have buses ready to go for whenever I need them. And that's all part of a template that I've made for my mixes. So all this is already done before I start mixing. But if you haven't taken care of that, then you might want to go ahead and get you some buses set up for different effects that you might want. So let's say you're looking at your audio interface and you only have so many buses, or you're wondering, how did you get so many buses? You go here, new path, you decide how many buses you want to create. We'll just say 20. Mono or stereo? Stereo. And then you can name it anything you want. Okay, create. And then when I hit OK, I'm going to have these 20 buses that I just made ready for routing. But I'm not going to do that. So now you've listened to the song, you've organized your tracks, you can color code them any way you want, you've just made your session to where it makes sense to you and you can navigate through quickly. You've got your routes set up. That's what I do before I get started. I love mixing. Mixing ain't easy, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be too difficult. As long as you take a few extra steps, it'll help you go further and quicker along the way. Thank you guys and gals for watching. Next week, I'm thinking I'm gonna discuss how I mix drums. I love mixing drums. It's so rewarding. So you don't want to miss that. But anyway, if you have any questions, message me, hit the comment section below, and I will respond as quick as possible. But until then, I will see you next week. Peace out.